Can you mute your mics, please?
sir, the demand Can you please put off the mics, those who are not speaking?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So we will straight away go into the session. We have Arpita Pal with us. She's from Diya Vikas Capital. We have also have Jayashree. I mean, we were to have Jayashree Jayashree Vyas, who is a MD of Seva Bank. Unfortunately, last minute some inconvenience has caused to her, and she has requested Bhumika Joshi to be present on her behalf, and she would be talking to us. We will be also having Livan from NABARD, who is CGM, Chief General Manager, in charge of the Microcredit and Innovation Department. She would be joining in any time now. She's anytime she will join and she will be part of this discussion. Before we go into before I hand over the mic to Arpita, let me just give a brief about what is this all meant for us. Women's Day, I feel every day is a Women's Day. Although we consider March 8th as an International Women's Day, but every day is a Women's Day. Can you imagine a day without our women folk around us? Whether it is mother, whether it's your sister, whether it's your wife. If they are not there, you know how the life would be. And the kind of the role they play in our life, in the society, it's I would say immeasurable. But in spite of all these things, the society being mostly a male-dominated society across the world, we seldom ignore the role played by the women in the life of the persons in society and also in economy. So that's the reason probably people thought that there should be a particular day, at least that day we should be looking at or we should be remembering about the role played by the women folks in the society. In fact, it all started in a women's movement in early in 20th century in the US, which culminated into a national Women's Day celebration in US, and subsequently it became in 1911 as an International Women's Day celebration across some 4 countries, which has been adopted by various other countries, and March 8th is considered as a International Women's Day. I am really happy that the sector which we are representing, that Sa-Dhan is representing, microfinance sector, has a lot to do with women's empowerment. We have been in the last 30 years, whether it is through SNG Bank Linkage Program or it is through the JLG movement where the microfinance institutions support the women's empowerment, there has been a big role played by the microfinance institution in empowering the women. But then how much it's actually translate into their empowerment is a question. But then they have become a face for the microfinance institutions funding activities. Many times the money is lent to the women because they are a better repairs. That could be the reason, because the money which they take, they repay it on time. So many of these institutions take them as a conduit to, pass on the money to the household. And now we know the household is the unit for a microfinance activity. So the money goes to the household. It's used maybe for a business run by the husband, or a small activity run by the family, or maybe some of the consumption needs of the family. Doesn't matter. It helps the family as a whole, the household as a whole. But the friend is always the women. But I would feel that we should go one step ahead of this. We also look at how to empower the women, because once the women gets empowered, the whole society gets empowered. And that way, I feel very happy that recently the Government of India's Lakpati program, which has come, which is a one step ahead, one step forward in this whole process. So far, we had been talking about the financial inclusion, giving loans to the women, giving loans to the households, poor households. But here there is a more specific program where we are looking at how to enhance the income of the women, maybe by 1 lakh, making some 1 lakh rupee surplus every year. That's the beauty of this program. And I'm really happy that government has taken that step. Because so far, when you're talking about SSG Bank Linkage Program or a JLG program, this is all limited to giving loans, financial inclusion, and that was it. We never went ahead of that. But this is probably a step ahead going forward and then seeing that how they are able to generate sufficient funds. So once they generate funds, once they become have the money with them, have the surplus with them, they are automatically get generated or get empowered. So that's what the program is, and I'm happy that Sa-Dhan is also playing a role in the whole program. We have a project whereby we will be supporting the NRLM as well as the SRLM of Assam, West Bengal, Jharkhand, and Chhattisgarh in supporting around 1 million women to develop them as micro entrepreneurs. So I hope this project is going to make a real difference to the life of the people, especially the people who are in the bottom of the pyramid. So this is what I thought I would say in the beginning, and I will not take more time because our speakers are with us. I would hand over the mic to, shall we, Arpita? So, Arpita, I would request you to give your thoughts about this subject and give your views so that by the time probably you finish, we hope that Livang also will join and Bhumika is also with us. So, we would like to hear from you. Over to you, Arpita. Thank you for your joining.
Yeah, thank you, Gigi, and thank you, Sa-Dhan and Gigi, for setting the context so well for this very crucial discussion at the backdrop of the International Women's Day. As Gigi has very rightly pointed out, I think microfinance sector has the unique distinction of actually being focused on women, which a lot of other sectors cannot claim of. But the point here that we're trying to make is it's the 99% clients are women, but we are talking about economic independence and consequent empowerment, right? And the way one looks at economic independence is basically giving the capacity to the women to make their genuine choices in their life, lead their lives in a manner where they can control their financial destinies, take decisions not only for themselves but for their children, which is so important, and do it in a financially responsible manner. So I think that's what economic independence is about. And in my experience, it is one of the strongest and most critical pillars to empower women. Empowerment does not come alone just by having social empowerment or political empowerment. So blocking some seats at various governance levels or in a society, it does not come through. The economic independence is a very important pillar of economic empowerment for women. And I think microfinance sector has a great role to play here. Of course, the loans are being given out to women clients, but are they in a position to take decision? Are they understanding what loan they are taking, how it's getting used? How could it better their lives in terms of their household incomes, their own independence, their own agency within their families? I think those are the issues that are very critical, because like they say, if a woman studies, the family gets educated. Similarly, when a woman is empowered, each and every member of the family gets empowered in the sense that they are able to control their destinies, able to decide for them. And it's a very strong influence on the children when the lady of the house is empowered. And this is the best gift we could give to our next generations as India moves to its aspiration of a 5 trillion economy. Because if 50% of our population, which is women, start getting empowered in that manner, it will really leave a very positive effect on individuals, households, and the entire economy. So I'll just stop here. And Gigi, is Levang and Jayashree Ben already in?
Let's see. Thank you. Thank you, Arpita, for your initial thoughts about the subject. Shall I request Bhumika to come and give your thoughts about it?
Thank you, sir. And really apologize that Jayashree is not able to join this webinar, and she loves that because this is the women oriented tech program, and she is basically for the same. And today I'm just giving my thoughts in behalf of the Jai Shri Band related to the Women's Day. That when you said that it is every day is a Women's Day, and we are doing the same thing in Seva Bank, that every day is a Women Day, and we are celebrating our 50th year, and from the 50th year we are saying every day. So I love this sentence when you said that. And I really like this one thing, that the women are the good payers. They are paying regularly basis. But when we started our movement, to at that time we consider that the unorganized sector members or our members, they are not bankable. So from non-bankable to currently, they are recognized as a good payer, good this payers, and they are paying back. So I really like to give my all respect to the Shri Ilaben Bhatt, because she trusted a lot into the members, and because of that trust, our members, they are bankable and they are also paying a loan regularly. But the whole things which we are saying, that empowerment, which gives really confidence to the members. But for the same approaching is that they can have a finance, but to managing a finance, which is a very difficult task, and the financial literacy aspects, which is really helpful for them, and they are educated for the same through the some literacy program, and they can manage the whole business, and they can manage the whole house, and also definitely their empowerment comes to the society. So we really feel very proud moment for our members who started their journey with a smaller amount, and currently we are having a more than 6 lakh members. All are the women members, and they are, we said that they are empowered because they are managing finance, they are also doing business, and they're mainly focused on the deposits. They are building the deposits, they are having a savings, and definitely when we are saying that they have some assets, which we really want that there is a gender equality. Every times we spoke a lot for the gender equality, but this gender equality comes by that way. Okay, now our members having their house in their name, when the women having the house in her name, that is the biggest proud moment for us to celebrate, because majority we had seen that some of the household, like that's why we are telling that we have to give the literacy to the whole family, and in the male dominated society. But we really proud for the same, that can now our members are really using this, and they are having their assets, and they are also a part of the society, and they are empowered a lot.
Thanks, Bhumika. In fact, we are also remembering our great legends like Ilaban and Vijayalakshmi Das, Madam,
Yes.
on this occasion. In fact, they are the ones who are also the pioneers of Sa-Dhan and, of course, the microfinance movement itself. In fact, as you rightly said, microfinance has really thrown open a avenue for the women to become self-empowered or self-reliant. But the point which Arpita said, empowerment is the capacity to take their own decisions, their own, and when you are able to empower a woman, the whole family gets empowered, the women gets empowered, the whole society gets empowered. So that is what we are looking at. So we need to go one step ahead of the kind of role we have been playing, and that is what our goal for the future. So in this connection, I will also request my colleague Rituparna. She's our own person. She also will be sharing her thoughts on this subject.
Today, like we work in the microfinance sector, and today's topic is women's, like based on Women's Day, we are celebrating the Women's Day, and today's topic is actually power of purse. What we actually mean is by power of purse is that the ability to take decision. Um, to influence economic policies. Not policies in the household, we don't have exactly policies, but economic decisions. The woman once started earning, she can take she can be a part of the decision making which happens in the family, which eventually affects the children also. Like Arpita said, this is a tribute for the next generation. So my point is that power of purse is very important for all women. Like education, the power of purse, both are maybe interlinked also, or often not interlinked, but to this helps women to get empowered, and it helps women to emerge in a more better way. For me, power of purse is very important. And I can invite all the people who are attending here this webinar can speak from their personal experiences, whoever it is in this platform can speak out. This is not something very formal. We can have a very candid discussion over here. People can speak on this topic.
Gigi, can I just put some questions out to the audience, since we have so many people from the industry here? And I often wonder about this, and a lot of the people who have joined this webinar are from, from MFIs providers. Most of the members are, right? And often I hear, as Bhumika had also pointed out, that statistics show women are better payers, right? They return their loans more effectively. They work harder. But if you look at statistics, the ADB study said that when they were comparing women-led micro enterprises versus men, women get loans. It's much harder for women to get credit. It's even when they get credit, it's on more tougher terms than the men-led women enterprises. So I'm wondering, when our experience of giving a loan and getting it repaid in time is better with women-led loans, right? Then how come our lending is so different? So I think that's something we should think about. And this was a study which was done by ADB about a couple of years back. So in spite of them demonstrating better experience in terms of repayments, they are always more challenged in getting access to credit and at the terms they get it, right? Similarly, just one other point, since we are on this and I'm very passionate about this subject, I keep hearing across, and having worked in this, worked for 30 plus years now, that women are better employees, are better team members. Yet when you see the statistics, for them to get jobs is tougher with the similar education level. There is always a gender, there's no gender parity. There is an income gap, salary gap, which is talked about by various institutions. So somewhere there is the need for the ecosystem to put the action behind the data, because I think that's missing, which is also short challenging the women. So I just want to, I know there's no easy answers. I just wanted to put this out, because we hear about these two conflicting data points, that they show better results, but yet they are constantly challenged, and they are at a disadvantage to the men folk. And access to credit is, of course, the most relevant here.
Thank you, Arpita. In fact, these are the two really pertinent questions you have posed. Before we get into that, I'll take that to the audience. Before we get into that, we have Livang with us. She has joined just now. So can we have the Livang on the screen? And she would be sharing her thoughts on this subject, empowering women, the power of purse. When you are talking about power of purse, I was just remembering one incident which happened in my life. In the sense, when I was heading a microfinance institution earlier, that was NAPFINS, that is a subsidiary of NABARD. I happened to visit a coastal region in Tamil Nadu, that is Nagpattinam district. So some women came to me, and they're old ladies, old women. They came and said that they are not getting loans from NAPFINS. In fact, NAPFINS had a policy of giving loans up to the age of 70 years. And not beyond. And I think 70 years itself was a longer time compared to many other institutions, because many other institutions stop it at 60. But we had a policy of giving up to 70 years. But after the 70 years was over or they have crossed the 70 years, they also stopped getting the loan. So they came to me and said that you have to change your policy. Then I asked her why, what is the reason? They were saying that we were having a higher social status in our family when we were able to get loan from you. When we were able to access loans from NAFINs, we had a higher status in the house, in the home, and in the society that we are missing now. So we need to get that back. So that this power of purse is really a big one. So let me go back to Livan, ma'am. Can you just give your thoughts on this subject? Livan, yes, you are on mute. Yeah, please.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. See, this is something so basic. I think the voice of a person, especially in today's world, and that of especially a woman, that I think we cannot, underestimate the power that a woman who earns that she wields, and I think this is not only in respect of the community around her, the society around her. I think a woman who has some economic power, she at least has the choice of making some decisions. I'm just saying some decisions, having the power, having your own purse, having your own income. Again, in many communities, in the lives of many women, may or may not make that much of a difference still. She can still be restricted. She may be earning, but she may not always have the control over the resources. That is also there. But I think this is a power which every woman should be having, should be given, should be guided to enjoy. I think all things start from here, having the power of your own purse. Otherwise, there is no voice, and without a voice, there's no aspiration. There are no goals to be set forth. So I think for me, that is something so basic, I think it should be something as basic and it should be a right, something so basic as, me breathing and able to talk. I think that is one thing which has to be there. And I think starts from there for me. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Livan. In fact, before we get into that questions which Arpita has posed, we will also have a men's voice for this Women's Day. So I would request Dr. Saibal, who has been with Sa-Dhan for the last 15 years, with his huge experience and experience in working with the developmental sector. I would like to hear from you on this subject, Dr. Saibal.
Thank you very much. So for me, it is your women empowerment is totally different, from the male voice, male perspective. For us, especially, I do believe that when we are talking about women empowerment and power of purse, I do believe that we possibly need to work with the men more than the women, because that they are the one who needs to respect, they are the one who needs to understand, they are the one who needs to bring the changes along with the women. So I do believe that we need to also work with the men to give it a balance, give it a kind of the society which has balance between the men and women. And when we are talking about this power of past, yes, I do agree with Livang ma'am that if you are having purse, a filled up, loaded purse also, still you may not have the hold on it. You do not have the say on it. So we need to promote that one. And the third thing, once again, I totally agree with Livang ma'am that it has to be very basic. We should not be even discussing on it that what is the power of purse, what is everything. We should be developing this kind of society. But that situation scenario is little bit different. We work with the microfinance, even if like she is the source of the money, she is not investing in her own entity. The source of money itself gives us a grace. So we have done a lot of studies over there, and also like when we are seeing in the impact study of microfinance, we are seeing that because of this money, not only her voice been raised, she has been accepted in the community as a resource, but also she has contributed significantly in the economic empowerment of herself and also for the family. We have seen the shift. I mean, it is a proof that we have seen the shift in the government schemes also. If you can remember that IRDP, NREP time, it was a male group which actually fell flat. It didn't work out. But when we are talking about the microfinance, where we brought these women in, where we are supporting the family, we are supporting that women through microfinance, we are seeing that the situation is far better. So possibly power of purse, it may be thick, it may be, I mean, lean, whatever it is, it has its own importance. Like as a man, I can tell that if that woman has really access to finance, or she has money, there is no other way but to respect her. There is no other way. So it is good that this there is women. I mean, this your financial empowerment is there, economic empowerment is there, having education, having your fatter parts. It always contributes in the overall being of the women, and it has to be very basic. We should not be discussing on this. We should be celebrating this thing every day, every time. Thank you very much.
Great. I think that's a very good point you said, that we need to celebrate the achievement and celebrate the womanhood every day. It's not only the day of International Women's
Yeah.
Day on a particular day. Let me also now take you to the questions which Arpita has posed. I would request the audience who are there. I find so many women faces in the audience. Of course, men are also there. Anybody can come to and see two questions which Arpita has posed is that one is that we all talk about the women are a better payers, and that's the reason why many a times the microfinance sector itself is focusing on women as loanees. But in spite of that, we don't get to see that kind of acceptance in other than, I mean, outside. Even today, when you have to go and take a loan from the bank, somebody will say that you come with your husband. So of her alone, we still are not getting that kind of a confidence. So what is the reason, and what is the way out how to make things better? That is number one. Number two is about the participation of women. Of course, there has been improvement we have been seeing in the last 10 years. The participation of women in the economic sector has moved up. It has gone up from 23% to 37% or so. Some 14% increase we are seeing the data. But then more should happen, because 50-50 is women in our society, women and men. So how do we see more of women's participation in employment sector, in the economic sector? I hope these are the two questions you posed, isn't it, Arpita?
Yeah, basically, yes, that they demonstrate better credit behavior, but the access to the loan is lower compared to us to the men folk, where the terms of the loan is less favorable towards them. So where is this gap sitting? Whereas the data is showing something else, but the actual behavior when the underwriting is happening, is there some bias there in the model, or is whoever is running the model, there is a bias? I think I really like the point that Saibal was making, that it's we are celebrating Women's Day and we're talking about women's empowerment and talking about women getting empowered, sometimes not being empowered even with a loaded purse. It's because the rest of the 50% of the population's behavior needs to change. Till they understand this, they change their behavior. If somebody has to get empowered, somebody needs to empower them. So we are talking about the rest of the 50%. So I think Saibal raised a very important point. We should talk about that as well.
Thank you. So it's open to I mean, views from the audience. So anybody who is able to wants to contribute to the questions posed, you are welcome to do it. Can we hear from someone from the audience the views of Your views about the questions posed by Arpita. Anyone, please?
If you want to speak, you need to unmute yourself.
You have to unmute. Yeah, Acha, Papachan, come on, please.
Yeah, yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good. Happy to, listening to those good words. But I think whatever said and done, empowerment means getting money and able to stand on their own. That can be only by economic empowerment. And microfinance plays a vital role in that. But I say that the recent rules by Reserve Bank of India has made it such a way that any finance can be a microfinance, so that a micro enterprise need not be a microfinance. So I think that is a big, there is a mismatch I find, because originally microfinance meant for what? It was for making some money and standing on their own. The money gives them confidence to be. That is the basis of the empowerment. That's what I believe. As a for this, for the last 10, 20 years in this welfare service is self-help promoting institution rather than a microfinance institution for the last 20 years. We feel that empowerment is by being able to stand on their own leg. Only by giving economic by starting some small economic enterprises. That is microfinance is a very good conduit for that. This and microfinance rules, I believe, I don't know how do you believe that, how do you take it, how you take it. I believe that the present microfinance rules are not that conducive for that, because any loan can be a microfinance, need not be an enterprise. Any amount given to a household with a income less than 3 lakh is a microfinance. So it doesn't mean that you go to do a small business, you earn something with that. You can borrow money and repay it. That is, of course, that's a microfinance. But it's not microfinance. How far it will serve the purpose, I don't know. That is my view, personal view.
Yeah, I think that. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all on that.
Yeah,
but incidentally, welfare service. In a grand way, we are celebrating this Women's Day. 3 days with exhibition come sale, and I would say NABARD is helping us in that. They are also a partner for it. In Ernakulam, we are having 3-day exhibition come sale and a big rally, big public. We started today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. We are having 3 days program.
Right, great. In fact, a very, very valid point you raised. It's not just giving money is sufficient. You need to empower. If they really want to empower them, you have to make them stand on their own legs. And if they have to stand their own legs, they also have to have a source of income. And microfinance sector, of course, have achieved a great extent. Some kind of livelihood activities have been created out of the finance given, but then it is not very significant probably. That's the reason why I said, that Lakpati Didi scheme, which the government has introduced, there is a focus on to the women and their enterprise and their development. See, it very clearly gives a roadmap that women should have at least a lakh of surplus in her kitty at the end of the year. That means every month, at least 8 to 10,000 rupees of surplus she should be able to generate. And how she can generate it only through some kind of a enterprise activity. And that is what the government is looking forward for, and I think that's a very forward-looking looking program which the government has initiated. Otherwise, as Mr. Papton said, it is only ending up in giving money to a woman and collecting it back. And what is that money is doing? Probably we are not looking into that. But here there is a more focused attention to the enterprise creation. And let me tell you, as I said, we are also a part of this program, and we are working with the NRLM and SRLM for 4 states, and another 3 more will be added to that. So there we have a clear-cut map of developing 1 million women enterprises. And how do we do that? It's not just giving money to them. It's a kind of a comprehensive program package we are looking at. That is identifying the right kind of women who have some kind of an aptitude to have to create a enterprise activities, give them the kind of training, giving them the hand holding. That's a very, very important thing. Hand holding support is very much needed. It's in the sense, it's not for the women alone. I would say any a startup in a startup industry needs some kind of handholding. Otherwise, he can't or she can't succeed. So that is the reason why there is a handholding element involved in that, taking them to kind of banking system, get the loan sanctioned, and also to ensure that they are properly, their products are properly market linked. So these kind of activities, what we are looking at, I'm sure, as Mr. Babajan said, we would be able to go towards that. Otherwise, probably we are not achieving our full objective. Anyone else would like to give their thoughts? I would like to hear some women talking. Pooja?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
hello sir, Dimpy this side from Midland Microfin.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so when we talk about, when we like do the RBI financial inclusion program in the village level, what we have observed, what the clients are saying earlier, they don't have the decision making to when they have to conceive. Whole the decision is taken care by the man. Husband is telling, we want like 2 child, 3 child. But now the time has came where the all the decision, like all the purchasing decision itself. If their husband want to wear shirt or t-shirt, this decision is also taken care by the women. That's the real empowerment. And we as a Midland, we have received the award of the best female, like when we talk about the female in our whole age, all department like CPP, HR, in business, I'm also in the core business day to day. So all the like department is led by the women. That's the real empowerment. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I really salute your organization, Dimbi, and I really have my appreciation for that. Yes, you are rightly said that the moment women can take her own decision, that is the day when we say that real empowerment has been achieved.
Yes, sir.
Gigi sir, I also want to add something in this.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, just we, as per our experience of last 50 years, we also had seen that sometimes women is not confident. I'm saying that I can't do the marketing, I can't do the any bargaining. So that's the little portions where you're talking about the hand-holding support. If they got the hand-holding support regarding the same, if they got the training regarding the same, they can reach to any level. So that portion is, I think we missed out, or we whole industry, as I cannot say the whole industry, but we missed out that we can give or empower through the training program, through giving a soft skill training, or through providing some like a accounting training or something to them. Because if they learn, then definitely they will achieve anything. So the empowerment definitely come to them. But sometimes they feel shy that this thing is only done through, because as per the last so many years, we had seen that the marketing part in any organization, in any company, every time is taken care by the male members. So here, if they have the enterprise and they have to market their product, they feel shy that I can't do that because I am a woman. And sometimes just because of that, their priority comes to the family priority. So sometimes she is also feeling like that. And because of that, I think the data which shown is little bit different, which the figures are different and the behavior is little bit different.
True.
And Gigi, I would like to add one experience here just to top up what Bhumika was mentioning. We have been running a pilot program of training women BCs. BC Sakhis, the business correspondent, women business correspondents. So we've, I think, so far trained about 2,000 of them through partnerships. And what we have seen is that when they were given the training, now they are at the forefront in that village as a BC, because she's absolutely right that they are not confident that they can do it. But when the hand-holding was done, the technical assistance, or you can call it training, then they get that confidence we can do it. And when they see that response, that when they are getting trained, like when the business correspondent, like as a program, we are training women, creating women business correspondents. So when they are trained on how to use a computer to withdraw money, Aadhaar enabled withdrawal, or to open an account, and then they see the response from their village, where the male folk also come because they require their help. They can't go to the branch. Then that confidence and the empowerment that happens is the real change. So I think it seems like the very crucial thing is the training gap which is there, which provides them the confidence, and then they can run. So I was talking to a person, our partner, who is a corporate BC, who has these women BCs who are training, and he said he can see the change in their behavior because of the empowerment, because there is a line in front outside her kiosk in the village where the men are trying to save their time and money of going to a branch which is like 50 kilometers away and would cost a day's as they call the hadi, right? So, and then there are the other women in the village who look upon this lady who as a role model, that she can do it, so can we. So I think there is a lot of knock-on effects when
Right.
this happens. So I think the training, the hand-holding, whatever we may call it, is a very crucial piece in this entire economic independence one.
I fully agree with you, Arpita. In fact, that is exactly the whole package of that what do you call the Lakshmi program involves a series of training and handholding and linking them with market. That's a very important thing. So you have products developed, but then unless you have a market, proper market, that is it. In fact, you also know that we had also run a financial literacy program, a massive financial literacy program. And let me tell you, yesterday we completed the 2,250 workshops in a matter of 10 months period. And there we touch base with around 141,000 women at the basically from the bottom of the pyramid, from the lower strata, who are basically the borrowers of microfinance institutions. So we could touch base with them, and this workshop was conducted across the country in 18 districts and across some 82 in 18 states and across 82 districts, and we had a support of some 29 MFI partners for that. So we were telling them about how to open an account, how the account should be managed, how the FD is to be opened, how nomination should be there, what is the importance of nomination, those kind of things. See, these are all many times they were all new information for them. Probably that absence of by whatever the deprivation they had in the past, the kind of a lack of awareness, that is what really making making them to be a little shy of, and that can be only we can do it through conduct of training and education. Livang ma'am, are you still there?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, can you say something on this? How do we enhance the women's strength? The Arpita's question, two questions.
It is, in fact, I was just, yeah.
Yeah, please go.
So, see, if we talk of loans to women, lending, but they're lending small amounts. If you look at the Mudra loans, I think 80% of the Shishu loans are women. And as
Right.
we go up to the next bracket of loans, and then their percentage share comes down to about 40%. And the next, I think, Tarun, is it Tarun?
Tarun,
Tarun
yeah.
is the highest loan. And there we have just about 10% women.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, why is there no value seen in having a woman as a customer with bigger loans? And I think this is something that needs to change, because we have, I think yesterday or day for yesterday, it was out that women are better in
Yes.
repayments.
Yeah.
So this whole thing, it should not be, the being seen as a different bracket of borrowers. They should be seen as responsible borrowers for the bank, and banks should see value. And in this, as you said, the Lakshmi Didi scheme, which is aiming to give loans of a minimum of 75,000 to an individual SAG member. I think once this gets going, I think this will really change, because as we said, see, a woman setting up a business, it's as good as any startup. She's also, she has her areas of doubt. She has, so all the support that any startup needs, she also needs those kind of support. It could be skill training, it could be mentoring, it could be, so that kind of enabling system, I think, has to be more visible, has to give, I think, good comfort to the lenders, be it banks or the MFIs or anyone out there. Yeah.
I fully agree with you. In fact, the data you said is very right. When it is issue loans, around 60-70% are women. And when it comes to Kishore, it comes down to some 20%, and then Tarun less than 10%. So this itself shows the mentality of the society. Probably that is what we are looking at, how it can be modified, because we all know that women, as a borrower, they are shown the best. What do you call the best response by repaying almost 98-99% in case of microfinance segment. I can see the collectorate is not there. I see a collector office from Ratnagiri is there on the screen. Can we get some views from there? It's a government office.
And city in Jamnagar.
And Jamnagar also, I find a government office. If we could give your views, anything you would like to say on this occasion? Okay, right. Anybody else would like? I'll throw open to others also. If we can give your views on this. Okay. Anybody?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Samita here, from Sa-Dhan. And so power pulse, as everybody is saying, that it's definitely very important in a woman's life. When it's very personal also, so I become very emotional. I'm sure many of us have experienced that in some time or other in our life. So I come from a family, very well-to-do family, but when you yourself are not empowered enough, then you cannot take any decision, even though you have the money with your father, with your brother, with the family. But if you are not empowered enough yourself, then you definitely, everybody, each of us have spoken about that. And the family is well to do, they cannot take any decision. Me, despite being educated, I am a housewife, and I do not have the power of the purse, then it so happens that even if you have something, so many things, and of course I can ask for money. No, asking for money, it is kind of
Begging.
begging, I'm so sorry about this, but if
No, you shouldn't be. You should not be sorry. You are very brave in sharing this experience. It's not easy to share it. So please don't be sorry. And I think we totally understand what you're trying to say. And I think this is the real problem. Sometimes there could be families who are poor, and that's why the women needs the power of purse. But the point you're raising is there's an affluent families also. The money might be there, but is it empowering the women to take independent decisions? I think that's a very important point you're raising. So please go ahead.
and the moment, I kind of decided that I'll take initial part of my career. I'll go back to say the 90s when I started my career. The general opinion in the family, in the society, was that it's okay to have a part-time job. So And job means you don't earn enough to be financially independent in the case maybe. So then what happens if you have some kind of opinion which is not accepted, maybe you are ahead of your time, and if you have some aspiration which is not accepted that time, that was what I faced. And so the moment I decided that I have to take my opinion, I started no discussing with people also as to how I'm wrong in expecting what I was expecting. So it started with my career also, like why I cannot be given a promotion if I was saving 70% of the budget. And then I also explored this field within the family. If I wanted to go to another city for a training, and it was not accepted in my family at that time, you know. So naturally, I was young. I come from Bhubaneswar, and in 90s, Bhubaneswar was just starting out. And in cities like Delhi and Mumbai, it was very much advanced in terms of this computer skills and analysis skills. That is what I was doing. I was part of an analysis team, and without any training, how can you compete with your male counterparts? Obviously, I was falling behind. And when I asked this same question within the family, they were saying, no, it is not safe to travel. You know, while I knew I could travel, and then I started traveling in another job. That job I had to leave. It was a very good job. I was in a very senior position, but I was not allowed there to travel. So I started with a smaller organization. You know, that decision also I had to take because within my state, I could ask. I had to take permission whether I can travel, and so that was okay with people. So if I can travel to say Bhubaneswar, from Bhubaneswar to 300 kilometers away, why cannot I travel 500 kilometers away? Why cannot I travel 1,000 kilometers? So it started like that. It is quite a journey. So, so also when I started working in villages, you know, I have seen girls were not allowed to go beyond the fifth house in their neighborhood. So I started taking them to the 10th house. That is how I started. Then to the bus stand near their village. Then the block office. Then to Bhubaneswar, and then beyond. So that has been whatever I faced. The similar stages. Actually, I implemented in the field also, and with other people also. And so I understand the journey. And there is many more stories to relate to, but I think people will start sharing their stories with this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think it's a quite.
We have Aditi from SAVE.
Oh.
Aditi, this is the first time that you are attending a Sa-Dhan webinar, I guess. So if you can share something in this platform, we would be very happy.
Basically, it's on economic independence.
Yeah, she's aware of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you just mentioned because I was on a mute and could you please repeat, Ritu, if you.
Yeah, I said that this is probably the first time you are on this webinar
Yes.
like this platform, Sa-Dhan webinar. So if you can share something here, we would be very happy.
Sure. Yes, absolutely right, Ritu. This is my first time for Sa-Dhan. I mean, I've attended one of the webinars that you have conducted in past for HR, but I think it's a great platform. And recently I've attended in-person seminar also in Chennai, and that was a great learning experience for someone like a newcomer like me who has joined microfinance company. And I think Congratulations to Sa-Dhan for providing that platform and getting everybody on board and sharing their views. I think it was a great learning experience for me. At the same time, I think not only just in learning, but also it really helps you connect with other counterparts in other organization. So thank you very much for doing that. And I think today is Women's Day. I would like to congratulate each and everyone who is here, not just women, but also men, for supporting, for encouraging us to be here. And I think every time we talk about, celebrating women, I think we should be celebrating each one of us every day, because each one of us are very, very important. I think the women and men balance has to be there in all the organization. And I think it's very, very important. And thank you, Sa-Dhan, for providing this opportunity, especially that in-person webinar was excellent, move. And I think we should continue doing that. So thank you very much for having me here as well.
Yeah, thank you, Aditi. In fact, if you can share some thoughts on the subject of today's discussion, that is economic independence, the power of purse. Anything you would like to throw some thoughts on that?
So if you could say that power of
purse, the money, the purse.
I think sure, I would like to say that. I mean, whether it's women in the corporate or whether it's a women in the house, I think both have to manage that. And the power of purse is not just men who are, going to the offices and earning money. I think even women who has to manage the household and finances also needs to play a very, very important role, create that balance, ensure that there is decent amount of savings. So I think both men and women play a very, very important role. One is earning, both are earning, one is saving, the other one is spending. But logical spending, I think, is more powerful than, just spending, whether it's a men or women. Again, I would say we don't discrete at save whether it's a men or women. I think merit plays a very, very important role, and that money power is only dwelled where you logically work, whether it's at home or in the office.
Thank you. In fact, you brought in a new point, not a new point, it's a point which was not deliberate here, that women are good savers also.
Absolutely.
In fact, that is a traditional strength of the women. Even in our olden days, whether it is our grandmothers or great grandmothers, they are the ones who always run the house, and
Right.
keep something always for the bad day, I would say.
So I just want to add one thing here. I think what the point that you just made, if you see Save logo, it's a potli that women used to hold. And this is what my promoter also told us, that, the idea came from because we were into BC business where we were lending money more to women. In JLG also, we're lending money to women. And there in older times, they used to have this potli where they used to save the money they used to keep. And that is what denotes, that is how we represent us in the industry, that it is saving, it's money which is in that potli. So and you rightly said, I think saving is very, very important, and financial industry is moving on saving, whether it's lending or whether it's taking the money back. So yes.
Yeah, right. Very right.
And Gigi, that potli is the purse, right? That we're talking about.
Yes.
The power
Yes.
of the purse. Whether
Yes.
you save or you take credit and put money in it, and how you use it and how you have agency to use it. I think that's the point.
Right, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Another 2-3 minutes more. Otherwise, we'll close the. Anyone else would like to share their thoughts? You want to say? So then, yeah, Rekha, are you saying something? Or Rekha? No. Okay. So the last word with you, Arpita. I think you can.
No, I think we've said the last word very by Aditi from Save. I think we first of all, not first of all, I just close by saying that Happy Women's Day to everybody. Like we discussed in this session, it's about women, but the change will happen when the men decide to do that along with the women. So I think that's very important. And we should keep trying to enable women, give them the confidence through capacity building, trainings, and all other literacy measures. So they have the confidence to keep engaging in their own life, have the agency to do it, and are doing it confidently. So I hope we will keep working at it, and Sa-Dhan will keep getting us together and keep doing these great initiatives, and we'll move forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In fact, let me tell you, this was a very short note. With a short notice, we thought of organizing this program, and really thankful to Arpita and Bhumika. Although she came late, I mean, we did. She was not initially called because Jayashree ma'am was to attend, but she came in her place and gave her thoughts. And Livang ma'am also here. So thank you so much, all the three ladies, for giving your thoughts and giving your views. It's really good to hear the kind of words you had said. And I also thank my colleague Ritu for taking all the troubles of organizing, because I just came 2-3 days back only. I said that let's do a program for the Women's Day. So as I said, every day is a Women's Day for us, and we'll continue to do it as a everyday program. But yes, some symbolic things have to have in your life. So that is what we thought of having it today. And thank you, Ritu and Shri and Sangeeta, for your thoughts and your support. And thank you all. In fact, I was seeing the attendance, around 60, 67 people were there. They almost continued till the end of the program. So that shows the level of discussions also, and everybody. Yeah, thank you so much. And we were also happy to see some of the government officials and government officers participating, like Collectorate from Ratnagiri, from Yamuna Nagar, then a couple of other institutions also we saw that. So thank you all, and have a good day. And once again, a very, very happy Women's Day to all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.